LatinxEd is an organization that invests in Latine leadership across the state of North Carolina, specifically with the goal of advancing educational equity and access for Latine learners across the state.
North Carolina has experienced exponential growth of the Latine community in recent years. And unfortunately, the education system has not represented our needs in many ways. So we started to see this growing need to have Latine representation and participation in our education systems. And that really inspired the existence of the fellowship.
The purpose of the LatinxEd Fellowship is truly to bring together a lot of thought leaders, a lot of folks who care a lot deeply about the issues surrounding the Latinx community, and really streamlining the resources that might be available to the folks that are impacted by the work that LatinxEd does.
The purpose of the fellowship is to create a space where people across the state who are Latina and who care about education can come together to, one, show the state that we're here, that we're present, and then two, for the Latinos themselves to see that they're actually not alone.
The LatinxEd Fellowship provides an opportunity to connect, provides a space and a network for educational leaders across the state of North Carolina who are Latinx to come together and build that community, build that network. But not only that, how to take what they already possess from their cultural roots and use that in their leadership.
We also have a youth component that focuses more on ensuring that our fellows have access to higher education. So making sure that when we bring in youth fellows, that we're also thinking about what that journey to and through higher education looks like for them. So supporting them with really the technical pieces, right, of the college application process is a big part of the fellowship experience, but also ensuring that they're getting plugged in and connected to career opportunities once they graduate from their desired higher education pathway.
We have always grounded our learning around Latinidad, leadership, and really thinking about how we can learn about our identities and create spaces where our fellows are thinking really deeply about who they are, their cultural context, and how that informs who they are.
Many of the folks who we've connected with have shared this feeling of isolation. And one of the biggest impacts of the fellowship is that we now have education leaders across the state who are connected. And that is one of the biggest impacts, the fact that folks now feel like there is a sense of community instead of just doing things on their own.
I think the fellowship is about finding empowerment within your own identity. And they really want to foster that sense of community cultural wealth. And so I feel like for me, the fellowship really brought out what does it mean to be Latina? What does it mean to be in community with the rest of the Latinx community? And how can I use that to improve not just my leadership, but also my advocacy skills, which I think is something that I did not have before the fellowship.
One thing that has been really important for us is the power of storytelling. And our fellows have experiences that deeply shape their practice.
They're reflecting a lot on their vulnerabilities, on their needs. And so for us to teach storytelling and make it an important pillar of the fellowship is to teach fellows to search for people and search for things that they need through their stories.
The difference the fellowship has made in my own leadership style is understanding the cultural wealth that I bring in as a leader. I come from a collectivist culture, and so that allows me to really be in spaces where I think about my leadership collectively. And so LatinxEd has helped me to really understand that and give name to it.
To see folks applying things like community connection out in the real world really shows us what the impact of the work is. Seeing the outcomes of that, I think, is what keeps me in this work, what inspires me the most. After the fellowship, when they're going back into their communities, the smaller expressions of culture are things that change the future for our community.
Others should definitely consider applying to this fellowship. I was very much on the fence myself, so I think that really giving it some thought and looking into the experiences of others before helped me make that decision. And looking at the experiences that the team at LatinxEd brought was very meaningful as well.
Anyone, honestly, that's interested in education should apply because everyone has a journey with education. And I think that it is so needed to have people that have had these experiences know that their stories can be shared and told. I think I didn't realize how much I needed a space like this until I actually joined a space like this.